Hello. My name is Pat, and I am here to tell you about who was Augustus Caesar. Augustus, in Latin, Imperator Gaius Julius Caesar Augustus. September 23, 63 BC, August 19 AD 14, is considered the first emperor of the Roman Empire, which he ruled alone from 27 BC until his death in 14 AD. Born Gaius Octavius Thurinus, he was adopted posthumously by his great-uncle Gaius Julius Caesar in 44 BC via his last will and testament, and between then and 27 BC was officially named Gaius Julius Caesar. In 27 BC the Senate awarded him the honorific Augustus, the revered one, and thus consequently he was Gaius Julius Caesar Augustus. The young Octavius came into his inheritance after Caesar's assassination in 44 BC. In 43 BC, Octavian joined forces with Mark Antony and Marcus Aemilius Lepidus in a military dictatorship known as the Second Triumvirate. As a triumvir, Octavian ruled Rome and many of its provinces. The triumvirate was eventually torn apart under the competing ambitions of its rulers. Lepidus was driven into exile, and Antony committed suicide following his defeat at the Battle of Actium by Octavian's fleet under the command of Agrippa in 31 BC. After the demise of the Second Triumvirate, Octavian restored the outward facade of the Roman Republic, with governmental power vested in the Roman Senate, but in practice retained his autocratic power. It took several years to determine the exact framework by which a formerly republican state could be led by a sole ruler. The result became known as the Roman Empire. The emperorship was never an office like the Roman dictatorship which Caesar and Sulla had held before him. Indeed, he declined it when the Roman populace entreated him to take on the dictatorship. He was not known as what we would call emperor in his lifetime. Imperator was, to begin with, simply a title given to an unusually successful general, but Augustus was given, among other titles, that of princeps, the first, of citizens. Originally it had no royal connotations. By law, Augustus held a collection of powers granted to him for life by the Senate, including those of tribune of the plebs and censor. He was consul until 23 BC. His substantive power stemmed from financial success and resources gained in conquest, the building of patronage relationships throughout the empire, the loyalty of many military soldiers and veterans, the authority of the many honors granted by the Senate, and the respect of the people. Augustus' control over the majority of Rome's legions established an armed threat that could be used against the Senate, allowing him to coerce the Senate's decisions with his ability to eliminate senatorial opposition by means of arms. The Senate became docile towards him. His rule through patronage, military power, and accumulation of the offices of the defunct republic became the model for all later imperial governments. The reign of Augustus initiated an era of relative peace known as the Pax Romana, or Roman peace. Despite continuous wars on the frontiers, and one-year-long civil war over the imperial succession, the Mediterranean world remained at peace for more than 2 centuries. Augustus enlarged the empire dramatically, annexing Egypt, Dalmatia, Pannonia, and Rhaetia, expanded possessions in Africa, and completed the conquest of Hispania beyond the frontiers. He secured the empire with client states, and made peace with Parthia through diplomacy.